Ladies and gentlemen, this is Terry and Casey Gotcher, husband and wife in Texas. What happened to her and her husband is just unbelievable. But I'm doing this story because of something I told y'all about in the past. So, this is what happened. Casey had a heart attack. Terry, his wife, grabbed the phone, called 911. She got placed on hold for 15 minutes. Casey died. They're blaming the worker shortage. Remember, I told you about the worker shortage in America? They're saying she got placed on hold due to the worker shortage. They don't have enough 911 operators. I had a subscriber tell me, I don't believe this thing about the worker shortage and people not working. And well, it's true. You don't have to believe it. That doesn't negate whether or not it's true. It is true. There is a worker shortage. If you go out and just pay attention all around you and see all of the advertising for work, I see it. And people showing up on some of these jobs to apply, and they're not even being interviewed. They're being hired and put to work the same day. I see these stories every day. So, I mean, you have a choice to whether you believe it or not, but it is actually true. So, as time goes on, you're not going to be able to not believe it. You will see it because this thing is going to get worse as we move into 2023 and 2024. You have to also realize a lot of businesses did not come back after the lockdown. A lot. A lot of people that intended to work longer ended up retiring because the pandemic scared them enough to just get out of the workforce altogether. And you also have to factor in the baby boomers are the largest group when it comes down to a generation of people. So once you remove them and you got all of these smaller generations, they can't fill all of the jobs out here. So these folks are a victim of a worker shortage that ended Casey's life. So pay attention. While you're sitting around not believing stuff, this man is dying and he's already dead. I'm going to go ahead and show you this video from Fox 11.
The city of Austin continues to deal with shortages at its 911 call center. Right now, the city says they have more than 70 vacancies within the department, including 50 openings for 911 operators. Here to talk more about this is Mike Levy, who served on Austin's Public Safety Commission when it was formed, remained for several years, 2007 to about 2017. He was also the vice chair for EMS and fire on the commission. Thank you so much for being here.
Oh, thank you for having me.
So, Mike, we've been reporting about the shortages a lot recently, but how long has the city been dealing with issues like this?
There have been reports that the police department put out back in 2011, 2012, so on the need. And they were basically begging for call takers then. It was never considered a priority. We know it goes back to probably 2009 when we can document the need. But for the manager and for the council, it's never been a priority.
Well, consider this because of these vacancies, 64% of calls are answered within 15 seconds or less. But according to the National Emergency Number Association, the national standard for answer rates across the country is 90% in 15 seconds or less. How can this slow answer time affect someone who is trying to report an emergency?
Well, first of all, averages never tell the story. When you start asking, and nobody's really asked for it, what are the breakouts? Plus 5 minutes, plus 10 minutes, plus 15 minutes. You'll see a significant number of calls, call taker answer time in the 15 to 20 minute range. There's an article in the paper about how one woman waited 30 minutes for a call taker to pick up, and her husband was on the floor with a cardiac arrest.
So you're talking about seconds, minutes. That can mean the difference between life and death when it comes to those answer times. What do you think the city can do to address staffing shortages and these longer wait times for 911 to pick up?
Well, first of all, the city needs to understand that the 911 challenge is just the tip of the iceberg. It's just not 911. It's police, it's fire, it's CMS. They're just not priorities for this council. When you are 23% short on paramedics, it says something. When you have an aerial ladder in South that's supposed to be for Southeast Austin, it's just sitting in the yard because the city won't spend $1.5 million. It makes you think, gee willikers, it's just not about 911.
So public safety in general is dealing with staffing shortages, but 911 call takers, this is the gateway.
If your house is on fire, granddaddy's on the floor with a heart attack, that 911 call taker has got to pick up the phone. 911, what's your emergency? If it's a heart attack, they're going to transfer you to the EMS dispatcher. If it's your house is on fire, they're going to transfer you to the fire dispatcher. But nothing happens until that call taker answers the phone. 911, what's your emergency?
So going back to when you were on the Public Safety Commission, what types of roadblocks or challenges did the commission face?
Well, I think it's what not only the commission faced, but what all of the associations that represent the public safety employees represent. They can't get anybody's attention. It's just not, it's about priorities. It's about what does the community need, and public safety is important. Whether it's police, fire, or EMS, people want to be safe. In a community, people have a right to be safe and they have a right to feel safe. One's quantitative, one's qualitative, and neither's true in Austin, Texas today.
So going back to getting people hired, how do you do it? Are you increasing pay? Are you any other incentives? How does that work?
Well, first of all, Rebecca, money is important. And you've got to be able not only to pay enough to keep good people, but to retain good people. You also have to have enough call takers working at any one time so the call takers that are on duty are not overwhelmed by calls where they hang up and there's another emergency. There's got to be some sort of leveling so that the pressure is not as intense as it is right now. You go down there and the pressure is, you can feel it. It's like electricity in the air. There's so much tension because there's so many calls coming in and so few people to answer that phone.
All right, we are out of time, but Mike Levy, thank you so much for coming in and sharing your time and perspective with us tonight.
So you heard the video. This is not a Texas problem, ladies and gentlemen. This is a problem that's going on nationwide. And I have to tell you, we had an emergency 2 days ago. We had to get my son up to the emergency room. Thank goodness he's okay. But it was something we had to do ourselves. This shortage is real. And if you got loved ones and they're sick or you're caring for an elderly parent at home, you need to plan on how you're going to get them up to the hospital on your own in many cases. If you don't have that planned out, you should find a way. If you can't do it, you should talk to a relative or possibly a close friend, and see if you can get those folks in your family, or people you're close with, up to the hospital without using 911, because in many cases you may be reduced to doing that. The shortage is nationwide. Anybody can be impacted by this. And it says that when people call 911 in Austin, Texas, the average hold time is 2.5 minutes. When you are in a life or death situation, 2.5 minutes is a lot of time. So, ladies and gentlemen, start planning on what you're going to do in these emergencies and you can't get a 911 operator on the phone. But y'all, please tell me what you think about this story. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.